Hello, you Germans.
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping, and the jam is pumping. Look at the crowd.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pump Up the Jam podcast. I am your host, Lee Witney, and joining us, as always, this week, we have got great touch for a big lad, Alan Taylor, and stop touching that, Richard Buckby. Gentlemen, how are you?
Oh, you're going to get arrested for these soon, mate. Or you can get us arrested. I'm all good, mate.
Yeah, I'm wonderful, Lee. I'm baking hot. I look like a beetroot, and you've just stitched me up knowing full well we now use our cameras. So thanks very much.
Not a problem at all. Happy to help. So bit of a sort of a freewheeling episode this week. We haven't got a guest, so it's just going to be us three talking absolute waffle, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, but there's been as there seems to be lately, there's been a big few days of the club and some big announcements coming out. I'm gonna start with the women's team. So the women's team has been allocated their division for next season. That is the Eastern or the Essex County Women's Premier Division. So that is step 7, which is the highest they could have gone into. By the sounds of it, the AGM for the league was a bit of a bloodbath, shall we say? But the club have got probably what they came for. I know Jody, speaking at the AGM last week, said that, or the JFA AGM, that's what they wanted, and that's what they've got. So it's a good start right off the bat.
Yeah, as you said, the AGM, it was a bit of a bloodbath. I think teams were jealous of what we're offering, aren't they, really? I don't think many clubs at that sort of step 7 level can offer not even wages, really, is it? It's paying for expenses, free kit, but we're in a position, Malden and Tiptree, to do it. So why not? Just don't hate us. Enjoy the fact that people so as low down as us are taking things seriously, and they're literally putting as much as effort into the women's game as they are the men's.
Yeah, I think I'd add to that. We've seen in men's football and maybe women's football today that jealousy money's always attracted to jealousy. But ultimately, I think, Lee, you said this last time, the last episode when we met with Jody, and what the club are doing for the women's game will hopefully leapfrog it in the local area. It will up everyone else's game, and ultimately that's the direction we need the women's games to go in. We need the women's game to be covering players' expenses or kit or whatever that is, because we do it for men, we should be doing it for women. And if the club want to lead the way in that and other people are envious of it, then good for them. My challenge to them clubs would be, well, can you match it? If you're paying your men, why are you not paying your ladies? So as I think Barry said, and Jody, the club should embrace that jealousy and just ignore it, because we're doing the right thing because we can. And there goes down the mantle to the other clubs to try and match it, I would say.
Yeah, and I think there might have been a bit of controversy about us going straight into the Premier Division, but in my mind, the FA set out the rules for new teams that are entering. They say you can only enter as high as this. So we've not done anything wrong because we've been put into the highest division. If we'd been put into Tier 6, for example, that might have been, they might have a case to be a bit angry about it. But I don't see that we've done anything wrong. And as you say, if we can pay the players or pay expenses, then that's what we should be doing. That's the right thing to do. And as you say, Rich, if we can pay the men, we should be paying the women as well, because that is the that's the correct thing to do.
I think the flip side to that is, Lee, had the organisation of that league chucked the team into step 10 in whatever league that be, then it's probably not going to be very profitable for our girls or ladies, and it's probably going to be no fun for the teams already at that level or entering at that level for that reason. So I think ultimately the right decision based on our potential was made. You're always going to get resistance. People don't like change, but we aren't the first club to ever come in to the ladies game and be dropped straight into the Essex Premier Division. So I think, Al, you touched on it, the jealousy aspect of it is really the financial aspect of it. I don't think there's anything more to it than that. I can think of at least 3 other clubs that have gone straight into that tier 7, step 7 level. So ultimately, it's jealousy, and let's embrace it and see the positive in it, and hopefully other clubs can match it, because that's what the game needs.
I think the thing is, you said there, just it was good that we had, as Jody said in our AGM, Liam there to fire calls, because he's one person that knows exactly what we're doing. Obviously, both of them receiving emails from players from higher up. That we're getting Barry announced 2 players just before we come onto here, and both of them are decent players. One, Amy Yeldon, played for Southminster last year. 2, Georgia Young. She's been over to America. I think she's played for Ebbsfleet. I'm not 100% sure about that. But they're 2 really good players that could play the next step up. It just goes to show the sort of players that we attract into the trials.
Yeah, that let's move on from the AGM and that side of it, because I think that obviously us being put into the tier 7, and like you say, Al, that the players that have come through the trials, I know you've spoken to a couple that were involved in those, and it seems like that the standard was really high, and that the players that attended were impressed with what was on offer and what is going to be on offer.
Definitely. Yeah, just saying, like, what's on offer. It's the little things that make a difference. I've spoke to one of the women that were on trial on Wednesday, and going for a trial, and they're having a Chinese buffet afterwards. Who at this level is offering?
Well, that's a Saturday night for Richard.
He said buffet, not an all you can eat. Yeah, and do you know what, Al? I think you're right. It's the small things that make a difference, And the club have shown already the professionalism on and off the pitch is what's going to make the difference and set them above everyone else. And ultimately, Barry's feeding people there that might not even be a part of the club. And fair play to him for doing it. It's attraction. It shows the trialists what is to come ultimately. And if that whets their appetite, then all the good for the club. So yeah, bring it on. And yeah, it's really going to be exciting. I think there's another trial. Is it next Wednesday, I think? Or is it this Wednesday?
No, this Wednesday there's a trial, and the Wednesday afterwards. I think Barry has sort of said that if people want to go along and just watch, see what's happening, they're welcome to turn up. Obviously, we don't want hundreds of people there just watching, because it makes it harder for the women. But
yeah, and if you have too many men on the side, you might be criticised by other clubs. So it's always one to watch out for.
Yeah.
Moving on.
But I just want to pick something up, and it's something I thought of the couple of weeks ago when we finished speaking with Jody. That obviously, sorry.
Just that's dangerous. You thinking, mate? Just
it happens every so often, but obviously the whole kind of one club ethos and mentality that they want to get in. If they get that in from the start with the women's team, it's so much better than just having a women's team that you don't really pay attention to, and then when the kind of the wind changes, then trying to backtrack and then include the women's side. So if you include them from the outset and grow with them, that's only going to be a benefit to the club and the team as well.
Yeah, and I think on that one club mentality, I know when this podcast probably goes out, the early bird season ticket promotion would have probably finished. But anyone that buys a season ticket is getting access to those ladies' games and the Academy Under-18s games. So, right from the get-go there, Lee, for the start of the season, we're already seeing that one club sort of ethos that you mentioned. I think it's very easy to say it and promote it, but actually doing something about it, in terms of that attraction, getting people through the gate. Again, I think we say this all the time, but the club should be applauded on that, because it's brilliant. Anyway, now everyone's getting extra value to their season ticket. So, and hopefully it will bring more people through the gate and build that one club vision, as you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's just more trophies to win, isn't it?
Absolutely. That trophy parade down Scraggy Road and Malden High Street is looking quite good, to be honest.
It's going to be massive. There's going to be just a convoy of coaches, especially with all the trophies the youth team are winning as well.
Yeah. True.
It's every weekend. The youth team seem to be posting tournament wins and trophy wins. So
yep, they had a successful week, didn't they? Or weekend, to say, at the Malden Saints one. I'm pretty sure all three of us here have played in that one.
It's funny you say that
Don't think I did.
because
Oh, here we go. Look at him.
I wasn't going to gloat, but
But
others have won
Bought that from eBay.
months before. You wish I bought it off eBay. Yeah. So they're not the only ones with their own trophies. So yeah, that's going back a few years that, but that was not pre-planned either. That was literally, I don't even know why it's there, but it's there. So
just
it was
in
on my
case.
fireplace, I promise. But yeah, maybe we'll just call it the Malden Tiptree Carnival as we float down the high street.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Go on, Lee. Sorry, mate.
I was going to say, well, so moving on from the women's, the under 18s have had their division announced today. I think that was, and that is that it's the Thurlow South, wasn't it, for the under 18s? Yeah. And there's another chance for a derby with Swifts in there as well. So
yeah, again, another positive step forward. Looks like the lads are going to be playing competitive, high standard football, which I'm sure Liam and Ash sort of heading up those under 18s want. So yeah, another step in the right direction. The club's just breathing positivity at the minute. So I think their games are going to be on a Wednesday night as well. I think home games. So
I believe so. Yeah.
I think they're on Wednesday nights. Yeah.
Wednesday nights. Yeah. So soon the Druitt Barlow Stadium will become a 7-day a week location for most of us. So I best warn Lavelle now, actually. If she's watching this podcast, she knows all about it now.
Oh, she's not. She's not. She's had enough of you.
Probably.
But yeah, I'm just trying to find out because I announced some pre-season games, didn't they, for the under 18s?
Yeah, but just not to give Swifts too much credit, but they've obviously had a long-established academy and pathway system. So for our players to be playing against someone as well established as that can only be good for them, and sort of hopefully with it being a derby as well, there'd be a bit of a crowd there to kind of give them an idea of what to expect as they move into the senior game as well.
Yeah, no, I agree there. I think I was just trying to find it, see if I could beat out to the fixtures, but I can't. Yeah, and I think ultimately, we want the lads to be playing at the highest level because that's what's going to breed success, and trying to get them into the first team, which is the ultimate goal. It's not just let's have an under 18s for the sake of it. But I think they play Get Rich Together on the 16th of July, which I think is their first home game. If you don't know who Get Rich Together are, I believe they're Samson Tavidi's side that he's put together, the Colchester United striker. So yeah, their first game is not far away actually. It's a couple of weeks, 18th of July. So I think you'll be on holiday then, Lee, I guess.
No, I'm back.
I
fly home. I fly home on the 14th. So,
and if anyone is wondering, where are you going?
I'm off to Switzerland for the Women's Euros.
And how many games have you got?
6.
Wow.
Yeah, I've managed to bag a ticket for England v Wales as well, the last group game for England. So that'll be good. Nice.
You've got contacts in high places, obviously.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Or a ticket resale website, one of the two. But just to move back to the women's, if and when we do get promoted to tier 6, Wroxham are in that league.
You are joking.
No. So the next sort of tier up regionalises. So there's a North and South division. I think they're in the North division. But if we got them in a League Cup or something like that, then there's a weekend in Wroxham. If the men and women are away.
Yeah. As if we needed another excuse.
Yeah. There's a lovely plug for O'Crumbs in there, isn't there?
Yeah, that'll be next season, though, isn't it? We'll be in the league above, hopefully, already with the men. So the women's one will just replace that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I see what you did there, Al. Nice. Yeah, that took me a minute to catch on, but I'm with you. Yeah, as the men go up, well, yeah, okay, I can support that. I think. I mean, we're probably waistline can't, but what's another hog roast going to help the 25 that I've consumed in the last 12 months?
Surely you've got enough stamps for a free one, haven't you?
I think I've got 7 stamps actually, so I'm a couple away. But by the time we get there, I'm in Norfolk in a couple of weeks actually, so I'll be there. Yeah,
they must know you by name now, surely.
No, I think they know me as the Fat Jammer, to be honest.
The rotund gentleman in the baseball cap.
That wasn't my Jammer, that was Fat Jammer. Or yes, the rotund gentleman in the baseball cap. That was more Durham away. If you were there, if you know, you know. I definitely know. Yeah, it's pick on me week. I like it. It's not me pick on you, Lee. So
I was
I
just
can
saying,
take
makes a change. Makes a
it.
change.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Right. So you have been busy. I say you've
I
been
have.
busy. You've been asking other people to send some videos in about what they're looking forward to for the season.
Yeah.
So what sort of categories have we got on offer for those?
So we've got name, which is always handy. So you can put faces to names if you don't know who they are. We've asked people how long they're a jammer, or how long they've been a jammer for, I should say. What's their top reason why people should join the Independent Jammers Fans Association, if they're not already. Their prediction for the season, which might be a bit easy to guess what people are going to say, but there could be a few surprises in there. And also, I've asked them to let us know who they're most looking forward to from the men's side, predominantly looking forward to watching this season. So we've had a couple already. Some will probably make this cut, some might squeeze into the next cut, or might just go out on sort of social media generally. So yeah, it's been a good response, and yeah, it's good.
So there we go. Oh, well, there's the big sell. So here is what some of our fans are thinking ahead of the new season.
Hi guys, Mitch here. I've been a jammer for around sort of 12 plus years, since going over my dad and my brother for quite a long time now, and obviously one of our good mates, Richard. I would say a really good thing to join for the JFAs, all the community work, the charity work. It makes you feel like you're really within a community and really a big part of the club. Next year I'm going to say that we will go up automatically. My two players I'd like to look out for are Elliot, the keeper, because I think he's phenomenal, as well as Sassy, because he's got the flair. Come on, you jammers.
Hi, my name's Tony. I've been a Malden Tiptree fan for coming up to 10 years now, and I've been part of the JFA since its start back in 2021. Why would I suggest people join the JFA? I think mainly for me, it's the sense of belonging you get with the JFA. It's a great organisation to meet fellow Malden and Tiptree fans, and also the charity events that we do for the community. Predictions for this season? I think we're going to win the title. Yeah, I think we're going to get promoted with this new squad and new signings we've got. And in terms of players, I'm looking forward to see next season. There's two returning players actually. I'm looking forward to see more is Jack Corley in the back and Terrell Egbury. Thank you.
Hello Jammers, my name is Matthew Hill. I reached out to Richard probably about 2 or 3 years ago, and with the idea to sponsor a couple of players, and he welcomed me in with both arms, and been a jammer ever since. I think that, as with any non-league football club, the most important thing is the fans and the community, and the jammers have just been absolutely brilliant for the duration that I've been within the club. Unfortunately, I don't live quite so close to Malden these days. I'm out at Newbury, but whenever I get down there, the welcome is great. They look after you. So if you're thinking about joining, it's great for friends, great for community, obviously enjoying a great game of football as well. So with regards next season, with who I'm looking forward to watch and where we can finish in the league, I would say obviously expectations are incredibly high with the new owners. I'm no point making any predictions. I'd like to think they would get promoted, but let's just enjoy the season. And after a couple of, many sort of tough years for the Jammers and the football club, it's time to look forward. And I wish the team and most importantly, the Jammers and the fans as much luck as possible. So good luck for next season. Cheers.
Hi guys, Route 1 FM here, and I have to say, you've got a cracking podcast there. So well done lads on that. Reason why I'm here is I'm newly become a jammer. Yes, I've only joined the JFA recently, and I have to say, if you're not part of it, join them. They are a great bunch of people. They get to know you, they talk to you, they support you, which is the main thing. They support the club. The community side of things is absolutely brilliant. So if you haven't got your membership, get in there, because big things can happen from just being a part of a group like that. Predictions this season, after the new signings have come in, I think is going to be pretty good this season. I think you're going to be looking top 2 at least. Players to watch out for, I think the Sassy brothers, if they can get on the pitch together, that could be a good bit of chemistry. But you can't look no further than Freddie Spears. He's going to get goals no matter what, and his experience counts. Good luck for the season, and up the Jammers.
Hi guys, my name's Charlie. Find me on Twitter at the Centre Circle Ref. I've been a jammer since 2018 when I moved to the Malden area, taking in obviously classic games such as the Newport County FA Cup game. Why would I suggest being a JFA member if you're a Malden Tiptree fan? Well, that's a clear one. If you're a Malden Tiptree fan, JFA is the only place to be. Come and join the guys down there. We're a fantastic group. Join us on the terraces, singing the songs whilst we watch the games. My prediction for the season is a clear one. It's promotion by February, I'm calling it. We'll be far and away in front by February, enough to clinch the title. So that's my prediction there. And a nice little cup run, maybe in the Essex Senior Cup. The player I'm most looking forward to watching has got to be Freddie Sears, ex-Hammer. I was there against Blackburn Rovers when he scored his brace on his Premier League debut. So yeah, that's got to be the player for me. So yeah, season's ready to go. Pre-season just about to start. Come on, you Jammers!
There we go. So you've got the thoughts of a couple of esteemed Malden and Tiptree fans. Gents, I'm going to ask for your answers. So who are you looking forward to seeing the most?
Apart from you two.
Nice.
I think it's just literally some of the returning players. I think defensively, I'm looking forward to seeing Louis and Matty on the wings, because I'm not quite sure how we're going to be playing, but as fullbacks, I think they're in for a good season. I think we're solid there. The player that I'm looking forward to the most, that I think he didn't play much last season, is Anicius. We announced him, didn't announce him, then announced him
Twice.
But yeah, I think he only played something like 8 games last season, scored 8 goals, scored 4 goals in the game against Brentwood. So I think it'd be interesting. Yeah, he'd do all right, I think.
And if you're asking me, Lee, I'm going to go for the player we announced a while ago, actually, who some might have forgotten, is Tevin Allen. I think I mentioned on maybe the first episode, but he's a player I know well. I've had the pleasure of watching Tev previously. If Mark Ribbett is listening to this or watching this, I'm just going to say lamb shank. And if you were there, you know. If you weren't there, come and ask me and I'll fill you in. But yeah, Tev, he'll be a good addition this year, and his energy is infectious. Not sure about his music playlist. I've had a look at it. It's a bit questionable, some of it. But
what are we talking? Sorry.
Oh, it's that app called Spotify, Lee. I know you're a bit old, but you can get it on most app stores unless you've still got your Nokia. But yeah,
I thought you said Apple Spotify for a minute there.
Yeah, I think it's on both. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to Tev in the Jammers shirt this year, Lee. But what about you?
I think off the bat, the goalkeepers union, I've got to say, Elliot, just, such a commanding presence, and you saw how well he did and how much he calmed everything down a bit last season, because obviously when Jamie got injured, we went through sort of 3 or 4 goalkeepers, and Elliot came in and just all of those problems were gone. So Elliot for a full season, and I think obviously everyone's going to say it, but Amin as well. I mean, I think just not that I watch the Baller League, because that's I'm too old for that now. But just seeing the highlights of what he did in that, and yeah, thanks. If you're listening to this, Richard's just pointed to my hairline. So obviously just seeing what Amin did when he came in for us last season. The guy's a magician, isn't he? So a full season of him will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think with other players, I think we need to think like Terrell. We're not quite sure what he can do with a team of this calibre and quality. He puts a lot of work and effort in, and I think if he gets down the byline and puts that ball in, you've got players like Hooper and Price up there. A fully fit Price this season, mind you. I think he's going to be an absolute nuisance for us this season. And I think he's going to do. That's how we love it.
I do. Obviously, we asked a lot of people there, or those that have responded so far, about predictions. It's easy to say that we're going to win the league. I think if you asked anybody, I've seen a couple of groups on Facebook where people are already doing predictions, which I find absolutely bonkers, but fair enough. Someone had us finishing 13th. I think they might have been a Witton fan, I think. Sorry, Witton fans. But Lee, do you think we're going to do it? We've been here before. We've had the tag before. We've fallen before. And I suppose if you don't, who's our biggest challenger going to be, do you think?
I'd like to think we will, obviously, because let's face it, if we don't, there's going to be a lot of egg on people's faces, because as we've spoken about with the women's side, there's a target on our backs, right? And people are going to, then there's a target on our backs as fans. I think that was said at the AGM as well. So I'd like to think we'll win it. I think Felix Stowe will be there and thereabouts again. I don't know, maybe Graves.
Yeah, I think both Graves and Philby have made some good signings so far this season, so they'll definitely be up there.
Yeah, obviously Lowestoft have come back down, haven't they? I know.
Yeah, I think the wheels have come off though. I know they're called the Trawler Boys. That wasn't a pun, but I think the wheels have generally come off. But yeah, the wheels I think have actually come off by slightly. Obviously, they probably haven't released everything, but they've lost quite a lot of players. I know Harvey Sayer has left. I think I saw he's gone to Tamworth.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
using that cup money.
Yes, I mean that's not exactly round the corner, is it? So he must be on a good crack there. But so I'm not actually going to go Lowestoft. I think I'd have Felix Stowe up there. I'm also going to go a bit left field and say Cambridge City. I don't know why. I just have a bit of a hunch that in Curo's second year, they're now at their stadium for the full season. They've signed Sam Coombs, which won't help them. But
Newmarket legend.
Yeah. Wow. That was a race. And I'm going to go Cambridge. But I do think we'll win it.
And they've got Smudger back as well, haven't they? So
yeah. And they've made a few other additions as well, I think. And we know Smudge can do it at this level. So I'm going to go Cambridge second, Jammers first, and I think it'll be wrapped up by the end of February.
End of February?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
You can quote that if you want, if you're listening.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Mr. Taylor?
I'm hesitant to say really, but we'll definitely be up there around about the end of the season. I think if we do or play as well as we can and get the results that we know we can, I wouldn't say February, but I'd say like March, we could be looking at.
Argue with me over 2 days if you want, Al. It's all right.
Yeah. But it's one of those, if we have a good cup runs as well, it might delay us a little bit.
That's fair,
but
yeah.
I think with the squad that we've got, it's quite deep. Like how far we've got depends if anyone leaves pre-season, that is. But it's looking good.
That's a good point, actually, because when we get to the third round of the FA Cup, my February might be a bit unfair because we might have only played about 16 league games by then. So we might not have wrapped it up by then. We'd probably be close. But after the third round of the FA Cup, we can focus on the league, I guess.
I like the confidence,
mate. If you don't have confidence, what's the point? Go on, Lee. Sorry,
I've not had confidence for the past, sort of 3 or 4 years now. But I think this is different this season. I think, isn't it? Just slightly. But you mentioned the cup runs. I'd love to see us have a good trophy run. I think the trophy is we could realistically go far in that. You get a kind draw here and there, and next thing you're at Wembley. So I think that's something that we should be looking to make inroads in. But with those cup runs, that's where an under-18 squad will come in handy, because you can bring in those players into the first team if you need to rest players or injuries start to mount up and suspensions and things like that. So it's all, like you say, it's all about building that depth, isn't it?
Yeah, you talking the cup run, actually, the trophy. I was just thinking, when we get drawn against Gateshead, I'd like it to be at home.
Yeah. If possible, it would be nice.
That would be nice, yeah. Although I would like to see parts of the northern part of the country, but if we can have Gateshead at home, that would be great. But Truro away.
Nice pasties down there.
Yeah, it's shock you related to food. But I mean, a couple of years ago, Hornchurch, who were a league above us at
Yeah.
the time, won it. And you could argue that we've got players that are higher caliber than were in their team back then. In some parts, maybe not all, but yeah, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that, why not think about a away day at Wembley? I mean, who knows? It'd be great, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad, would it?
Yeah, but all right. So, question: would you take winning the league, or a day out at Wembley? And you can't have both.
Would we win at Wembley?
No, I didn't ask that.
Win the league.
Just a day out.
I don't know.
Wow.
I wouldn't know.
Okay. I'm without.
I'll take
Win
the
the league. I can't deal with the Hayward Swifts gloating when, even though they're going to get relegated, then when we win the league and they're celebrating, when we don't win the league and they're celebrating.
But if we've had a day at Wembley
and lost, but possibly, then why we didn't clarify, you then ended up with nothing.
I don't know.
If you want a day out at Wembley that bad, I'll buy you a stadium tour. What do you want?
I mean, I get into media some days, so
well,
it's all...
It took you 12 minutes to mention it.
But no, I don't know. I think obviously the league is the main one, isn't it? But a day out at Wembley, I don't think it would be one of those days that you'd never forget.
Mm.
I
mean, yeah. Go on.
I was going to say, I think with a league win, okay, that'd be fantastic, but it wouldn't. There wouldn't be that kind of like day of celebration, would there? Like in terms of how big it is, and
yeah,
it wouldn't. A day out at Wembley in the trophy final would put the club on a more national stage than us winning the league this season.
Yeah, I think I'll take the league and second round of the FA Cup. No, Kev's probably listening still, but I'll take that if we can settle.
Yeah,
and we can do Wembley next year. That's fine.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy with either.
You're going to get splinters. But I think the lads are back in pre-season. I think Tuesday, Thursday of this week. I think. Yeah. So I think it's tomorrow. I think they're back in. Bear in mind we're recording this on Monday, and it's not going to air till Thursday. I'm sure they're in on Tuesday night. I think I could be wrong on that, but I'm sure it's Tuesday.
That's going to be grim in this heat, isn't it?
Yeah, it will. But I think it's meant to get cooler. I think today's meant to be the peak of the heat, isn't it? Not that I'm Michael Fish, but I think it is.
Tomorrow's going to be 34. Don't worry about it, mate.
Is it really going to be? You're joking.
I should have a map up here, shouldn't I? There'll be sunny spells moving across to the east.
But there's no tornado, and I think you'll be all right.
As long as my hair stays on.
All right. So, do we mention the player that we haven't mentioned yet? Freddie Sears.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
How could you forget about him, Lee? What's that secret?
Go on, go for it then.
Yeah, great signing. I think seeing some, again, jealous fans saying, "Oh, he's absolutely washed. He's past it." The guy scored 25 goals for Chatham last season in the league above. Like, he can bang goals at this level easily. I generally think with him up front, hopefully he's going to be playing through the middle. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of goals, definitely, with that strike force.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Kev deploys that strike force. Will it be sort of I can't imagine it would be a front three of Freddie, Gary and Pricey. It would be nice, but it'll be interesting to see how they're used and whereabouts they're used and in what role, for sure.
There's others as well that we haven't even spoken or mentioned. We had a young lad last. Was it Jack Stone who was in from Southend? I don't know if he's staying. I think he was dual registered. We've got.
I think he's in line.
Yeah, I think we've got Fraser from Needham Market, who is a great addition.
So yeah, the forwards we've got Ollie Fraser, Terrell Egbury, Amin Sassi, Gary Hooper, Pricey, Freddie Sears, Camille signed as well this week, another contract, and Anisius. So that's front nine,
Kev, please. Let's just go for it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting conundrum. I mean, fair play to the boys if they all want to stay around and fight for their places, but that, you know, there's a lot of lads in there that are not getting much game time, whatever way you look at it, really. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that, you know, how Kev forms his team. I'm sure he's got a better idea than us, but he's certainly got some selection headaches. Yeah, well, just about. But he's certainly got some selection headaches just in that forward line. You know, is it 3-5-2? Is it 4-3-3? Is it, you know, 0-4-6? I don't know. But we'll wait and see. A pre-season's not far away, so I guess we'll get a bit of an idea pretty soon.
Yeah, it's good to see some of them players there as well that have been given contracts for the year. Camille, Amin, and Anisis all been given a 1-year contract. And I think, was it Louis Arrowsmith for 2-year contract that was announced this week as well?
So yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure, Al, some of the lads you haven't named there that are new signings have also penned a contract of some duration that we just don't know. Which, you know, whenever we hear Kevin and Barry speak, they talk about next season as well as this season, which as a fan base, we've said for years that, you know, turning over 60 players a year is not sustainable. It doesn't breed success. So the fact Kev and Barry have mentioned that 2 to 3 year period of a bit of continuity is what will set us up, I think, for success, not just this year, but next year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the boys from Chelmsford probably got 2-year contracts, Dunn and James. Then obviously Taven as well probably got a couple of years.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even touched on the 2 signings from Chelmsford, Cameron Jones and Louis Dunn. I mean, they've got some pedigree, especially at this level. And coming down from
what's that other lad? The really short lads. Tom Eastman. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't keep up. Lee, to be fair though, you might be in with a shout because the one thing I haven't announced is second choice goalkeeper. So if you've got your gloves, and if Elliot has a massive malfunction and he just can't be there on one leg or even no legs, you might get a call up.
I think with that back 4 in front of me, I'd keep a clean sheet because I'd be
goalkeeper.
I'd be so well protected.
I've got so many comments, but I'll give you. It's hot. I'll give you the day off. But mate, you're probably right, to be honest. Elliot's, I'm going to get him a newspaper subscription because I don't think he's going to touch the ball.
But I mean, talking about it, and you go from sort of back to front through that team, and there's just such a strong spine running through it, and then you've got all these sort of pacey players, sort of fleshing out the side, especially with, you know, Yatesy and Louis, as you say, Al, at fullback, and then sort of, I mean, Amin's not slow, is he?
No. The one thing that interests me at the ATM actually, when we press Kev on, is this it? You know, is there going to be more? He didn't really answer, but he certainly suggested that there might not be done. So there might be more to come, dare I say.
I think it's more the fact that if players become available, so read that what you will, maybe players are somewhere that are meant to be playing for someone next season.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they've just signed for Newmarket Town, for example. And
yeah, sure. Will you leave Coombsy alone, mate?
By the way, did anyone listen to how boring his interview was the other day? Or was it just me?
No, I haven't listened to it.
It took him 58 seconds to mention he played 3 minutes at Orient at left back. He won't mind me saying. I do love Sam. He knows I wind him up. But
I mean, we're not ones to take the piss about.
I'll take 3 seconds
boring interviews. Right.
So true. So first pre-season game is what? Al, you're going to know. You're the walking diary.
Saturday after the 12th. It's at home to Colchester.
Okay. So it's not that far away. A couple of pre-season training sessions before then. And that's Colchester first team with their under-21s to come, I think. Is that right?
No, I generally think that is going to be Colchester first team because there's no Colchester 11, and I think I've seen on the social media saying it's their first pre-season. So I'd imagine maybe it is going to be like one team, one half, second team, the other.
Yeah.
maybe a mixture of under 23s and first teamers in there, just to try and get minutes under their legs. But it's going to be a really tough ask.
For Colchester.
Yeah.
Nicely. I suppose it'd be good to see like where we're at, and are there going to be trialists that we don't know about? Normally we have a couple of trialists. Normally we don't have anyone signed on at this point, so we're like sort of 3 months ahead of where we normally are. So
Yeah. I mean, I was signed on at this point 3 years ago, so
was I.
I wish you were joking as well, but I know you're actually not. I've never seen a middle-aged man be so excited.
No, leave it. So we've got Colchester on the 12th. We're back at home on the 15th, Tuesday the 15th. That's against Chelmsford. That'll be another really good test against a side who like us are kind of maybe on a journey or at the start of a journey. That's for sure. To what they hope are bigger and better things with Spencer Gore in charge, and they've obviously got Angelo who's gone in as manager, Angelo Harrop. So yeah, that'll be another good test for us, and I dare say for Chelmsford as well.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because I think Barry's going to be pulling his hair out with the amount of games going on at the pitch. Because I think after that Chelmsford one, it's going to be was meant to be the under 18s on a Wednesday night, but
that was Barry the groundsman, I assume, not Barry the owner. Yeah,
Barry would apply.
Maybe both apply, but yeah, it's definitely going to come under some pressure, isn't it? But I think one thing the club have put in place is a good platform to be able to cope with that. And the pitch looks amazing. Like big shout out for Barry because the pitch does look amazing. I was there. When was I there? Maybe a week and a half ago. It looked unrecognisable to what it was this time a year ago. And I know he spent hours walking up and down that pitch, manually cutting it. I think he's had scissors out at points, but yeah, it looks phenomenal.
But yeah, obviously the next pre-season after that is #at home. Was it away? Can't remember.
That's at home.
Yeah, hashtags at home. Yeah, hashtags at home. Are you back? So when are you back? When do you come back, Lee? How many of these fixtures are you going to miss?
I will only miss the Colchester one, so I'm back on Monday the 14th. So I will be there on Tuesday the 15th. So if you're hoping for a nice quiet night, sorry.
That's right. We just won't turn up.
Yeah. I mean, in case you missed it, Richard, I'm not quite sure the club's posted it enough. On the 19th of the 20th of July, Sunday, it's Elliot's testimonial.
Yes, yeah, and I know why you asked me that question now. I know where you're going. I am not telling you who's in the team, but what I can say is get your tickets. It's going to be worthwhile. It's not all about Dagenham. Elliot is keen to make it about Malden Tiptree Football Club with a look forward. It's going to be a good day. I know I've put the team together. I'm not managing it, and neither's Lee. So yeah, it's going to be a good day. There is a manager in place. You might or might not know him or her. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'll tell you what, though, I will tell you one player who is down to play. And that's Scott Druitt-Barlow. That's all I'm giving.
Just on the manager, any chance of some clues?
No.
Oh.
Come on, you.
No. I'd be too scared to tell you. No, I'm not going there. He's got an assistant with him as well, actually. I think the assistant's confirmed now. So.
Happy days.
Happy days.
What does make me a little bit sadly is that if you were a bit fitter, I would have asked you.
What do you mean? What do you mean if I was fitter?
Well, I've seen what you tuck away on a match day. I don't think you're going to last 45 minutes, let alone maybe not even 4 minutes.
That's even in goal.
I was going to say, I'm not playing on pitch. I'm not playing down the wing.
No, I've got two goalkeepers. Actual goalkeepers.
That's a shame.
So, yeah. So, no, it'd be a good day. Buy tickets. It's only a tenner. I know there's loads of Dagenham players coming, or fans rather. There's going to be plenty to do on the day. Maybe some bouncy castles for Uli. Plenty of food as well. Possibly a barbecue and some other bits and pieces. So, Yeah, it's going to be a good family day. Elliot is, as I said, keen to make it about both clubs, with a look back and a look forward. So really keen for it to be a successful day. And yeah, hope, I'm coming back early off holiday for it. So I think Lavelle knows that. But yeah, it's going to be good. Look, I'm really looking forward to
Surprise!
it. Surprise! Yeah, no, she does know. So it's going to be good.
Lovely stuff. So after that, we've got Colchester under 21s. That's on the Tuesday, the 22nd.
So knowledgeable.
It's almost like I've got it in front of me.
And the diary.
But yeah, that'll be. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to expect with that. I mean, it more than anything, it might be a potential look at some players that we could bring in on loan from Colchester. Maybe I know obviously that sort of connection maybe isn't as strong as it once was. But there's obviously always a chance to have a look at some promising youngsters who are hoping to get some senior minutes.
That's a good point, actually. Do you know what? It's long over the days gone where I thought about Colchester United or their change of ownership. Sorry to any Colchester United fans listening, but I'd actually forgotten about the possibility of loaning some players. And when you think of the likes that we've had over the years, Matt Yates is a good example back when he was a loanee, or Milton. Yeah, I mean, add two of those into the squad, or Sammy Kafour, even any of these lads. I mean, it's a joke really, but I forgot about that possibility, which Barry was quite open about and was keen to keep that door open, so to speak. So,
I mean, with Milton sort of working his way back from an ACL injury,
I like it. I
mean, a loan wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, surely.
Maybe a higher level though. Like I feel like Conference South probably, maybe Ishmael Prem.
But with the players he'd be training with.
Yeah, true.
With us, I mean, he'd be playing with Conference South players every week.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. It's a good point. Maybe you want to make that call, Lee. Maybe you get out your phone book and be the man.
I mean, I'm just putting it out there. It wouldn't. It might. If I ruled the world, it wouldn't be the worst idea. Because if you're working your way back from an ACL injury, which is a big injury at such a young age, maybe just sort of gradually building that up and then sort of looking to move on to Conference South next year. I
mean, to be fair, that's a better idea than buying a physical diary and sticking in the boardroom, isn't it? So I will never forget that you come out with that one. I'm sure is still laughing about you now, thinking about it. But yeah, no, do you know what? Talking on Milton specifically, whether he comes back to Park Drive, Druitt Barrow Stadium, I just hope he has a good year, because I felt so bad for him last year. He's about to break through into the first team and suffers that horrendous injury, and I'm sure he's not that far away, hopefully, from being back. So yeah, big shout out to Milton this year.
I'm pretty sure the last I heard that he was aiming for pre-season to start training again. So I'm pretty sure, regardless, we will see him down there at one of the games. He'll be down watching.
Oh, I hope so.
Because he has come down a couple of times, hasn't he, to watch? Yeah. So I'm sure we'll see him down there.
And also, just on that point, actually, I think Bradley Orombian, is that how you pronounce it, Lee? He's looking for a club. I think Peterborough are looking to offload him. So he was put up for sales. Yeah. So, I mean, we want our Brad back was the shout once. So, maybe.
Because what we're lacking is attack-minded players.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do with a left-footed one, I
think. So just to round out the pre-season games for the men's side, it is a trip to the island on the 29th to face Canvey. Jammers reunited all over the show there, isn't there? There's about 20 of them.
Yeah, there is quite a few. I was going to name them, but I'll just go Louis Remy, who's the one that stands out for me. I think Louis there. So, and Finners actually, he'll shoot me if I don't mention him. So,
Jagsy's there.
Jagsy, yeah. Who else?
Tom Middlehurst, I think, is there. I think he signed on. And then obviously you've got Peter Taylor and Rhino.
Ryan
Dugouts.
Yeah. Otherwise known as Simon Cowell, if you look at how high he wears his trousers. That's a little top tip for you. Sorry, Ryan. Yeah, No, interested to see what happens with Canby. Actually, they've strange acquisitions, I would say, for a club looking to apply their trade in the history and Prem. But good luck to them. I think you thought I was joking. I was being serious.
Oh no, it was very brief for you, and that was it.
I'm not even going there, Lee.
But there has been a big turnover there.
Yeah, massive. Yeah. Well, they have kept hold of Elliot Ronto, which I would say is a good retention for them because Elliot's a good player. So
yeah, I think he's their skipper now, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, maybe that was part of the coup to keep him. But yeah. And I think one thing we haven't touched on, maybe before we bring it to a close, is that the FA have confirmed that we'll be in the extra preliminary round of the FA Cup this year. So our road to the third round or final starts earlier, which I think is the 9th of August. I think it's the 9th. That will probably second. Thanks, Al. So that will definitely be our first competitive game of the season, I think, because I think that you're right, Al. The league starts on the 9th, I think. So our first competitive game will be the second.
Yeah. If memory serves me right, Stanway was the first game of our
last year,
wasn't it? So we were out of the cup by the time we played.
By the Wednesday, we were out. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that those are on Friday.
The draw is Friday this week. Yeah. So tomorrow, when this airs, if you're listening on Thursday.
Tell you what, Wroxham away in the FA Cup extra preliminaries.
No, because I feel really bad when we knock them out.
That'll be fine.
No, you're right, mate.
No, okay, fine.
No, I'll take. You do, yeah. I'll take. I don't know. Someone.
Revenge.
No, it's like a banana skin, isn't it? I'll take. I don't know. Someone in the Essex Senior League or the Hearts Senior League, something like that. Well, mind you, he says with Stanway being in the Essex Senior League.
Wakering?
Yeah, maybe Wakering. Yeah, someone like that. So at home, it's always good to play your cup games at home. That'd be nice, especially at this point.
Yeah. Before we do bring it to a close, just one thing I don't think we should let slip is we've obviously spoken about turnovers and player signings. Kai Brown has left. So just give us your thoughts on Kai. I think we've lost a very decent player there, to be honest.
Yeah, we've lost a really good player, but as we said, you look at how many forwards we've got. I'm not quite sure how much game time he might have got. And I think for him personally, it's probably good for him to move away, guarantee himself some game time somewhere else. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a bit of stick actually amongst supporters because everyone was gutted that he left. Sad to see anyone leave. But as you said, Al, I don't think he was going to play much. And I think the club have come to the right decision for the club and for Kai, actually, as you said, Al, to go and enjoy his football, play every week, score the goals that he can. And I think the club we've moved on, unfortunately. And I think Kai is someone that, wants to play football, understandably. He wants to be in the team every week. Why would you not? But I don't think we'll miss him. And that's not maybe any reflection on him. I think it's just where the club have moved in that time, really. So wish him well, obviously. Hope he goes on to bigger and better things, apart from when he's playing against us. But yeah, and I don't think he'll be the last either, would be my feeling on that. I think there might be a couple of others that we've not yet heard from that we might say goodbye to at some point. And that's football, right?
Well, that was a cheery end, wasn't it?
Well, you went there. We could have just ignored it. But to cheer us up, I suppose So Lee, obviously you're going away, so this podcast will come out. Yeah, that's definitely going to cheer us up. Nice, Al. That's not even what I meant. But
trying to get my EU passport back.
Yeah, true. We will be back in a couple of weeks with the next episode. We'll be lining up a guest who may or may not have a testimonial coming up. So it'll be a nice plug for him to come on and give us his time. He's available, so we'll definitely be setting it up around your busy schedule, Lee.
Sounds good. Right, gents, I am off to practice backstroke in a chocolate fountain in preparation for Switzerland.
Wonderful. Going.
On that note, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you in a few weeks. Pump up the jam.
Jam.